So Nikki Lewallen is our executive director of Rainmakers. She is a passionate public speaker and facilitator. Her passion is to inspire the people that she meets to their true potential and find their way of making money doing what they love. She's over 15,000 hours of study and word-of-mouth marketing, which means she can really help you figure out that model that's going to work for your business, resulting in a 100% referral business. Her favorite activities include sharing knowledge, empowering people to take action, teaching her English Bulldog Tonka new tricks on her skateboard, and cooking and trying new restaurants. And she's an amazing lady, so give her a round of applause as she comes to speak with us tonight. Go.
So tonight, what we're going to talk about is what really matters. What matters?
Clicker's right there.
It's a big question. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you to engage with me to talk about what really matters. And I'm going to give a little kudos to, there's a couple people in this room that have influenced this. I don't know how many people in here have been part of a mastermind group at some point or another. Powerful concept. And this is where this title, the title of my talk, came for me tonight. Success versus significance and conversation. You think about that, it's almost an oxymoron. Success versus significance and conversation. So let's talk about this. What's the difference? Let's talk about the difference between success versus significance. Many times I think I put it in the same box until I had a group of people really challenge me in what I'm currently doing and intentionally putting forth to be successful myself or be significant. So let's think about success. The way that I would define it is it's the impact that you make on this earth towards your purpose or your mission. Success is the impact you make on this earth towards your purpose or your mission. So let's define that for a second as inwardly focused, right? It's us working towards our mission, our purpose. Significance, on the other hand, is the impact that we make on others through the work that we do for them or what we're giving to them. That's pretty powerful. So you think about your success and your significance. Wow, it's really it's a different thing. And I'm excited to talk with you guys at Rainmakers tonight because so many of us are into a topic like this. So what makes you successful? What makes you successful? Think about it for yourself for a second. The cool thing about it is we all define success for ourselves. If you are currently in a place where you're allowing someone else to define your success, it's probably really hard. You're probably not really enjoying what you're doing. It feels really like someone else is pushing you towards something. So a good life lesson is to understand that success is yours. You own it. You define what is success. So think about that for just a minute. How do you define success for you? So if we're talking about what really matters, two things, success and significance, I'm going to ask you to think about, do you have a strategy in place right now for your success? And again, this is your personal ground towards your mission or your vision. And I'm going to say a lot of us do. And many times it looks like this, goals, right? A lot of our coaches, a lot of our friends, a lot of groups that we're involved in tend to ask us, what are our goals? Putting it into smart format. What are the things that you're looking to achieve? And I would say many of us are very much in tune with goals. But tonight, I'm going to ask you to step outside of that a little bit and think about another way that you can evaluate yourself and your success. What are other ways? And you might be thinking, goals aren't the one thing for me. I don't use goals all the time. It's something else. So think about it for you before I share mine. Maybe it's a religious principle that you reflect on daily or weekly that helps you measure your success. Maybe it's a book that you've read in your life that helps you measure your success and the principles that you've learned in that. What is it for you? I want to share mine. How many of you have read The Four Agreements? The Four Agreements is a fantastic book that helps to complement between me striving towards my success with goals and achieving things in sales and friendships and financial arena, but the 4 agreements is another way that I use for myself. So I'm going to share this with you, but I'm challenging you as well to find things that also help you measure your success. So number 1 in the 4 agreements, just to be really brief, be impeccable with your word. Every day, every week, every month, ever since I read this book 2 years ago, it's changed my way of evaluating me besides just goals. And it's, was I impeccable with my word? Sometimes it's really easy just to kind of maybe flip the truth a little bit, or say things a little bit out of tone. So it's been a really good check-in for me. Number 2, and I hope this hits for some of you because it's been huge for me, is don't take anything personally. Because someone else is having a bad day and they treat you a certain way, it doesn't mean that you have to take that personally. It's not that they don't like you. They've probably had a phone conversation on the way here that got them in that mood, and they put that energy or whatever towards you. And so that's a wonderful principle that I measure towards my success is, did I let my energy get eaten up today by someone else that impacted me personally by what they were going through? Number 3 is don't make assumptions. Don't make assumptions about things. Have conversations about things. Talk through things. Because how many times with an email or a text communication, right, you tend to make an assumption about how someone wrote something, and then you're affected and you think that they're angry or you're frustrated, and then you know the phone call gets a little heated. Well, I'd have to tell you I break this one every once in a while, pretty regularly, but it is a great check-in for myself. Did I make an assumption about that got me there? And number 4, might be my favorite. I don't know, I might have said that about all of them because I like them all. Always do your best. So in everything that you do, whether you're on stage and you're public speaking and you just don't feel comfortable doing it, that time, measure your success by your best. At every time, your best is never in comparison to someone else's. It's just in comparison with you. And if you're doing your best and evaluating your best, I would say that this is one of the reasons why I love this as my success principle. So before we move on, my challenge to you is know what is success for you. And what is that foundational thing? And it might be 3 things. It could be a religious base. It could be a book. It could be your coach that's given you a philosophy to use that to measure your success. Now on to significant. So we talked about significance and success, and we talked about them being different so far. How do you define significance for you? Significance is the impact you make on this earth for someone else. How do you measure that? What's your strategy for significance? You might have a strategy for success right now because goals have been what you've been leveraging, or maybe you have some other advanced techniques, but I wonder if you have a strategy for success. I can say there's one person in this room that I've been able to see put a great strategy in place over this past year, and that's Robbie Slaughter, who's on the board with Sparks. He put a strategy in place, a challenge to himself in order to help enough people and keep track of all of that it's his own personal challenge, a significance challenge. I think that's very admirable, and a lot of people have looked up to that. I would say that many people in this room, if I said, because we're all in this Rainmaker culture, if I said, so what is your significance, it's probably going to look something like this. Pay it forward. That's one of the reasons that we bought into the Rainmakers philosophy, because, wow, I'm really tired of going places where everybody talks about themselves and is all about themselves all the time. And so I wanted to buy into this significance, of paying it forward and being meaningful in what I'm doing with my work, and it's not just all about me, which is a great thing. But here's what I'm going to challenge you on tonight. Just like I have in my success a book that's a foundation that I revisit, what is your significant factor that you revisit on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis? Something bigger, something like the example that we've got to see with Robbie, which has been really incredible to see this year. Here's mine. And I've said this for multiple times in front of multiple people, and I will continue to say it until I get there, and I know I'm not at the financial place to be there for probably many years ahead, but to be one of the greatest donors in the Indianapolis nonprofit community. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Aside from I love to help people, I love to create new business concepts, but why I do what I do is I love to give back, and I love to be part of a room full of people at a gala when I see someone give back in such a big way, and people are saying thank you because it was their dream to have that nonprofit or that philanthropic effort. So for me, that's me. And so I'm going to challenge you, if you've been living your significance on, I pay it forward. I typically give to other people. What's bigger than that? Bigger than just not being intentional about it. So let's look at this. I would say I am one of the number one people that uses the term or uses this expression, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. I can't fit that in. I'm so busy. So how many of us do that, right? We're so busy. We have so much going on. Well, I asked you in the beginning to engage with me for 10 minutes about what matters. What matters? And I'm going to say that success and significance really matter to you. I'm assuming. I'm even taking on this assumption and breaking my own rule. I'm assuming that every single person in this room, success and significance matter to them. So take a look at this. I won't read every number, but that's a lot of numbers. A lot of time that we have to be successful towards our vision intentionally and to be significant to other people and leave an impact. So the next time that you're thinking, wow, I just didn't really have time, I'm just living my life on the pay it forward mentality, and you didn't really put a strategy in place because you didn't have time, I'm going to encourage you. What really matters in the end and what we're going to look back on is the bigger stuff towards that. So how much time do you spend working on your success and significance? And when I said it's an end conversation, they feed each other. The more significant your strategy is, the more successful you're going to feel. So.